Welcome in, everyone, to ACC Football and Beyond. This is Scout's Eye, and taking a look at the week that was in week 3 of the ACC, and a little bit beyond that. We also always add Notre Dame in the mix as well here. A reminder, if you would do a couple of things to help us, subscribe, like, and share Off the Hook Sports YouTube channel. If you will do that, subscribe, like, and share. That'll help us a bunch. Spread the word. If you like what we're doing, we hope that you will help us by spreading the word about what it is we do. We so appreciate you joining us. Also, ask you to do the same for the Landry Football Podcast Network. Subscribe, like, and share that as well, as we're excited about what we're doing, providing all the content on college football, the NFL, football soup to nuts, as we like to call it, from a coaching and scouting perspective. So make sure that you check that out. Also invite you to check LandryFootball.com for all the more detailed film room breakdown and analysis that we can provide you. Take advantage of the football season sale. Try it out for a month, whatever is your pleasure. Some notes around the league. Will Shipley ran for a couple of touchdowns. DJ Ungalale threw for 2 more. Tigers defense picked off 3 passes. They beat Louisiana Tech 48-20. I'm curious to see, as they play Wake Forest, followed by a home date against NC State, is their offense good enough? Are they comfortable enough? The defense made all the difference for NC State in their 27-13 win over Texas Tech. The Wildcats forced 4 turnovers. That was big, including 3 picks, allowing them to win a game in which it was outgained by nearly 100 yards. Miami certainly missed an opportunity against A&M. They outgained A&M by more than 100 yards, and they doubled the number of trips in the red zone, but they couldn't put the ball in the end zone. So credit A&M for getting it done, but Miami, very inefficient scoring. Wake Forest stopped a go-ahead 2-point attempt by Liberty in what was a fascinating game, 37-36. They could not run the football against Liberty, but they were saved by 325 yards and 3 touchdowns from Sam Hartman, who's playing very well. And Liberty turning the football over 4 times was definitely significant in that game. Tate Rodemaker left Florida State past Louisville with 109 yards and 2 touchdowns in relief of Jordan Travis. The Seminoles moved to 3-0 for the first time since 2015, but it was a potentially costly when Travis and star pass rusher Jared Verse both left mid-game with injuries. Dino Babers is playing, got his team playing well at Syracuse, 3-0 with a 32-29 exciting win over Purdue, thanks to that gritty performance by Garrett Schrader. Sean Tucker is an outstanding back, but Garrett Schrader is playing very well, complementing this offense. 3 touchdowns and running the football pretty well. Remember him from Mississippi State days, playing really well. Virginia Tech had no issues rolling past Wofford. They shouldn't have. Grant Wells paced the Hokies at 314 yards. I thought they did a nice job against a very weak opponent. Virginia, I said Old Dominion would take care of Virginia. Virginia got them, 16-14. Good job by the Cavs. They avoided the same fate that the Hokies did. The Monarchs had the lead with 101 left. So they were close to getting them. Close, not enough. The Cavs put together a nice drive and kicked a game-winning field goal, 26-yard field goal late in the game. Duke moved to 3-0 for the first time since 2018 with a 49-20 win against North Carolina A&T. Marcus Freeman picked up his first win as Notre Dame's head coach in that 24-17 win over Cal. Drew Pine was efficient under center, threw for 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, 17 for 13 passing in place of Tyler Buckner. Still, the Irish offense, which is averaging just 4.6 yards per play, looked like it'll continue to be an issue for them. I'm still looking at the league, and I'm still looking at Clemson as the top-looking team. I still have concerns about their offense. I do think that they're going to have to improve their passing game with DJU, or they're going to have to go with the youngster. I think until they do, I think they may be good enough to win the ACC based on their defense and their running game, but I don't think they're going to be a team that could challenge in the playoffs if they were to get there. Shipley, again, is starting to really play well. They combined for 333 yards last year against Wake Forest. So that's going to be interesting to see what they're able to do this week against the Demon Deacons. Probably put NC State in the number 2 spot. Quality win 27-14 against Texas Tech. The defense looked really good. They forced 4 turnovers. The linebacker Peyton Wilson played very well. I thought he was very active there. He had like 10 tackles. The corner Aiden White at 2 picks really did a good job staying on top of routes, and he returned one of them for a touchdown. They're going to host Connecticut in a little tune-up before playing Clemson, which is going to be their biggest test of the year at Clemson in 2 weeks, by the way. Pitt avenged last season's heartbreaking loss to Western Michigan with the 34-14 victory over Western Michigan. It's a good sign. Pitt was able to put up 34 points. And Nate Yarnell filling in for Keaton Slovis and Nick Patty. They received help from the junior running back, Israel Abitakonda, who played well against Pitt, ran for 100, played well against Tennessee, ran for 133 yards and a touchdown. They got Rhode Island next before beginning conference play. Wake, it was a tough showdown for the Deacs where they outperformed a Liberty team who played a third-string quarterback. Deacons were outscored by Liberty 28-17. Sam Hartman struggled. The Deacs line up next week against Brian Breezy and Miles Murphy, arguably the best defensive line duo in the nation. North Carolina had a bye week. Comes at a good time. Next week is one of their biggest home games of the year against Notre Dame. The Hills will have a great chance to win on Saturday. The Irish will be without starting quarterback Tyler Buckner for a second straight week. The Canes got their first real test of the season. They didn't perform well. The efficiency of the offense, what I was concerned about going into it, I was still concerned about. Inefficiency in the red zone. When the throwing windows get narrowed, they really struggled. And I thought defensively they made enough plays, but keep in mind they were going up against a very weak offense of Texas A&M. They'll host Middle Tennessee, and then for their final non-conference game of the year. Florida State got that 35-31 win against Louisville. Seminoles put forth another hard-fought effort, gritty performance. However, they lost perhaps their most important roster piece in Jordan Travis in the win, who was spotted in a walking boot and crutches after leaving in the second quarter. Tate Rodemaker came in relief. He threw 2 touchdowns, had that game winner to Johnny Wilson, which late in the fourth quarter, really good receiver. Rodemaker is going to have to lead this offense. But he did a pretty good job. We'll see. They host Boston College, who's really struggling, particularly up front this year. Syracuse, how good is Syracuse? Boy, that was a nice win. Probably should be ranked a little higher. But let's see what they're able to do in conference play. Nice win over Purdue, 32-29, coming from behind. Garrett Trader's doing a really good job. The question remains, are they a threat? They play Virginia this week. That's not a huge game, but it's a nice game in which if they go 4-0, we can start talking about them a little bit more, which I think is deserved. Duke, still undefeated in the Mike Elko era, beat at NC A&T 49-20. Riley Leonard's played well, threw the football pretty well, only missed 1 pass in the game. Defense played very well. They had 11 tackles for loss. Look, it's a weak opponent, but they did what they needed to do in that matchup. Virginia Tech didn't prove much in their 27-7 win over Wofford, but at least they, put that Old Dominion game behind them. Grant Wells had his best outing. He needs some confidence. They host West Virginia in their final non-conference test this week. They actually play that game on Thursday night on ESPN. So this is going to be important, I think, to gain some confidence for Brent Pryce's team. Louisville suffered their second tough defeat of the season. They played pretty well against Florida State, but it was a back-and-forth battle. Florida State, being without Jordan Travis, was an opportunity to steal a win. I thought Malik Cunningham had another good performance. He ran the football well. He threw it pretty well off of play action. Let's see if they can bounce back against USF this week. I expect they will. They beat UCF. USF's a little easier opponent. Virginia, if not for that game-winning field goal in the final moments, it would have been an embarrassing loss. They struggled in the red zone offensively. They fumbled twice within the 5-yard line. Um, they go to Syracuse this week. As I said, if they don't clean that up, they're going to come out with an L. Boston College, Viljakovic to Zay Flowers was all they needed to get a nice win over Maine. The junior running back, Pat Garwell, made an impact running the football well. It's going to be tougher sledding against Florida State this week. Then the bottom of the barrel in this league is Georgia Tech. They deserve some credit for their week 1 performance against Clemson, but this weekend was an absolute disaster. They were not competitive at all against Ole Miss. That been outscored 162-10 in their last 14 quarters. And Jeff Collins is, I think, on the way out. So it doesn't get easier. They travel to UCF before beginning ACC play. I don't know that Jeff can survive much more. If they struggle and are non-competitive against UCF, we could see another coaching move at the end of next week. That's kind of how the matchups looked, and a little bit of a look ahead to this week. We're going to get into more breakdowns of these games this week, not only at LandryFootball.com, but here on the Landry Football Podcast Network, as well as on Off the Hook Sports YouTube channel. So make sure that you subscribe, like, and share both the Off the Hook Sports YouTube channel and the Landry Football Podcasting Network. If you're a fan of the ACC football, sign up for ACC football and beyond. If you're a fan of the SEC football and beyond. Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12, same thing. Check it out. We think you'll love it. It's a way for us to cover every team in a timely fashion. Tough to do. We cover college football in a national perspective, but then we break it down in each of the individual leagues and as well as the group of 5. So make sure that you check it out all on the Landry Football Podcast Network and, of course, on the Off the Hook YouTube Sports YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and share. We appreciate you joining us. We'll talk to you again next time, everybody.